Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to talk about the lens of love, a simple meditation to connect one's own vision of life with your highest good and the ability to materialize your goals and dreams. Then we've been talking about this as if it's real in the present moment. And before we begin the meditation, or really as part of the meditation tonight, I wanted to take some time to recognize and appreciate John O'Donohue, the late John O'Donohue, Irish poet, philosopher. He is a beautiful person, and his messages are so transparent and easy to understand and inject into the heart that I wanted to recognize a few quotes and read them to you, because his writing and his philosophy have moved me so much to be in a place where I feel that I genuinely can lead my life with my heart open and being the first thing that everyone sees. And I've set it up tonight so that we can look at some different websites, and depending on how things go, we'll see what we visit. But let's begin. Before we start, just want to, for those who have not seen this stream before, my name is Vincent Carleton, and here's a bit about what I do. I teach folks how to meditate, empower their minds using my own Shift 108 meditation system that I developed. And we work on the polymath way of learning, which is linking all of the subjects that we study so that they all fall in line with one another. If you like this type of idea, that the way the stream works, please do subscribe. It will help to grow this community, which is growing, and I am very happy to see the new people who have been coming around and supporting the channel, and I'm grateful. It pushes me, gives me that extra energy, especially now after a long day, and I've been having very long days working extremely hard on a project in Mexico City, where I've been taking on the responsibilities of making sure that there's a permaculture that exists at this beautiful home that is an artist's space and a healing space and a musical space. And I have been blessed with the opportunity to be its chaplain. And I must say that they are long days. I come back here and get here like around 10:30 Central Time. And I promise myself, as I promise you, that I am going to at least post something so that everyone can have some wisdom to work with as we get prepared to go into the next day and go into this subconscious mind for our sleep cycles. So let's start with some quotes by John O'Donohue. I think that would be the best way to go about this. And it's a good thing I don't show my stream key there, but there's some links. Now let's look at this. This is from irishcentral.com. I just looked this up on the internet. I really mean this. And you'll see that I have the parietal eye there. We might check that out in a bit. Let's look at some quotes. So this was released on St. Valentine's Week not too long ago. And it says here, what better moment to reintroduce the profound sayings and thoughts on love other than John O'Donohue, who was Ireland's leading Celtic philosopher and spiritualist. What a man. I highly recommend, where it says here, this book, Anam Cara, which means soul friend in Gaelic. It's an amazing book. You can turn to any page in that book and find wisdom that you need for that day. It's like a miniature seance. You turn to the page, it's always right. It's like doing a divining card reading, where every page is a card. It's just a miraculously helpful book. Let's dive in here with the first one. I'm going to highlight this and read it. Your beloved and your friends were once strangers. Somehow, at a particular time, they came from the distance toward your life. Their arrival seemed so accidental and contingent. Now your life is unimaginable without them. Similarly, your identity and vision are composed of a certain constellation of ideas and feelings that surfaced from the depths of the distance within you. To lose these now would be to lose yourself. That's from Anamkara. Let's read some more. One of the tasks of true friendship is to listen compassionately and creatively to the hidden silences. Often secrets are not revealed in words. They lie concealed in the silence between the words or in the depth of what is unsayable between two people. That explains silence, folks. And it even explains being ghosted. It even explains how technology has worked its way. I have great optimism that people will simply crave the old connections that we used to have. And the way that we can connect is eye to eye. If you send out goodness from yourself, or if you share that which is happy or good within you, it will all come back to you, multiplied 10,000 times. In the kingdom of love, there is no competition, there is no possessiveness or control. The more love you give away, the more love you will have. There is the solitude of suffering when you go through darkness that is lonely, intense, and terrible. Words become powerless to express your pain. What others hear from your words is so distant and different from what you are actually suffering. Your soul knows the geography of your destiny. Your soul alone has the map of your future. Therefore, you can trust this indirect, oblique side of yourself. If you do, it will take you where you need to go, but more important, it will teach you a kindness of rhythm in your journey. Let's read the last one here. Yes, this is important. If you try to view yourself through the lenses that others offer you, all you will see are distortions. Your own light and beauty will become blurred, awkward, and ugly. Your sense of inner beauty has to remain a very private thing. Let's reflect upon this tonight. This is going to be the concentration for us. When we think about if you try to view yourself through the lenses that others offer you, all you will see are distortions. Let's really think about that for a moment. If you try to view yourself through the lenses that others offer you, all you will see are distortions. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? When we look at the lens of life, and instead of us carrying the lens of life around that is a lens constructed through our own intentions, instead we are simply allowing others who are carrying lenses around to show us what they have recorded of us. All you're seeing of yourself are distortions, judgments, interference, trespassing. Unless someone is approaching you through the purest sense of love, and even then it is challenging. But I'll tell you what the closest perspective of love from someone else will feel like when they are sharing with you their own lens. They will ask you questions before assuming they know the story about you. They will be more interested in listening to you say everything you need to say before responding or needing to jump on what you're saying and interrupt or interfere. A person who sees you through the lens of love will curiously want to know if there's anything they can do for you. A person who sees you through the lens of love is aware that they are in need to be present through the breath, and that 99% of being there for someone is simply listening. That's 99% of being there for someone. Someone needs to speak. You are there to listen to them. Understand that the lens of love is one that has the capacity to truly receive, not to edit, not to say, I know what this really means when you did X, Y, and Z. It's not about that. It's about the raw footage that is uninterrupted, incorrupt, and presented to the person with as much reflection and care as possible. So when we're looking at this and it says, if you try to view yourself through the lenses that others offer you, all you will see are distortions. Your own light and beauty will become blurred, awkward, and ugly. Your sense of inner beauty has to remain a very private thing. We talked about this 2 days ago. The idea of your message to your highest good must not be interrupted, must not be tampered with. It is sacrosanct and so special that when you create your dream board and you imagine yourself achieving it, that letter needs to reach you on that higher plane to understand that we are living in multiple possibilities of life, dimensions that we can't quite see. But if we let someone try to show us what it is, it will always be distorted. You must understand that your lens is so important. And how interesting that this lens, it's only one lens. It's not two, like the eyes we have. Which gives us the opportunity to segue here as I show you this definition of the parietal eye, also known as the third eye or the pineal eye, that comes from the pineal gland. And if you look here, which is quite amazing, you can actually see the third eye on this juvenile bullfrog. You can literally see where it's embedded in the brain. And if we go back, there are some other examples here. This one is from a Carolina annul, showing the parietal eye. You see that? It's an actual eye. Let's get right in there and take a look at that. That's just amazing to me. And we have that right in our own brain. How could it be that we have that in our own brain, really? Well, the truth is that it has cones, like our two eyes, that are receptive to light. The receptivity to that light. And it is sensitive to nighttime. That's what cones do. It exists in the pineal gland. We also have rods in the... cones are for color. Rods are for peripheral vision. We have both of them in the third eye, in the pineal gland. It is an eye. It's not a thing that's left up to question. It's just an eye that's embedded in the center of our brain. It is non-hemispherical. It sits there right between the hemispheres. Look at this. This is quite alarming. It's amazing to me to see, and it's responsible for our circadian rhythms and the way that we are diurnal beings, which is we are daytime active. And the third eye has lots of responsibility. It creates, or it produces melatonin, which helps to maintain our sleep cycles. It's also mood regulating. It's directly connected to serotonin receptors. And so the third eye is the actual lens, is what I'm saying. It's the lens of the subconscious mind. And if you explore the spirit molecule, in fact, we can do this a little bit. Let's check this out. If we go over to DMT, the spirit molecule, we can look this up. Yeah, here we go. This is the full film here, you know. I don't know if we're hearing the sound. If you have an opportunity, I strongly suggest you check out the spirit molecule. It's brilliant. All right. Anyway. So when we talk about the lens of love, we're talking about accessing the lens that is connected with the light of the universe, that is the essence of who we are, directly connected to our origin. And we are connecting with it. And the more that we connect with it through mindful breathing and intentions that are produced in the present moment, as we've been going over with meditation technique, and we will do in just a moment, the more you widen the aperture and make the third eye, the parietal eye, more flexible for your own receiving of messages that will help to expand your consciousness. You see this here? It's the third eye. It's incredible. This eye that you can see, it's embedded in the middle of the brain and it's cone-shaped. That's why they call it the pineal gland. It's non-hemispherical. And it helps us to connect to the subconscious mind, that dream state mind. It's very powerful. So I would check it out. Do your own research on this. A lot of people say, oh, it's, spiritual mumbo jumbo. But the bottom line is this, that can't be denied. The pineal gland is an eye. It's receptive to light and it's embedded in the brain. And it also produces dimethyltryptamine, DMT, which is known as the spirit molecule. And it has a profound effect on our ability to connect with something beyond base reality. So to love oneself is to connect with the inner self. This is what he's talking about. John O'Donohue says, your sense of inner beauty has to remain a very private thing. This is specifically why our thoughts are not able to be read. There is no cerebroscope that can read our thoughts because it's a private matter. The pineal gland wants to ensure that you have a direct connection with it and that also it is not interfered with by outside sources if you allow yourself to train your mind, as we're going to do now, to be present. And in the present moment, you are writing this letter to be sent to the universe to bring you to a new orbit, a new place in your life where you feel transformed, empowered, and able to achieve your dreams and goals. So let's dive in. Let's make this happen. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Let's begin. Let's begin with a deep inhale through the nose. Continue with the Ujjayi breath, the sound of the ocean's breath. And you can achieve this by putting the tip of your tongue on your upper palate. It helps to stimulate the pineal gland as well by vibrating it. As we inhale a little bit more, just a few more sips. Hold that breath, suspend it, And now exhale out the nose. Let's do another deep inhale through the nose. Hold the breath. Really saturate the oxygen in the bloodstream and exhale out the nose. And just breathe normally as I talk and get us prepared for our mini journey this evening so that we can all go to bed rested and able to tackle the next day and materialize our dreams, get us one or many steps closer to that goal that we see in our minds. Now think about this practice we have been working on. Since the start of the new moon, we have been thinking about our own dreams and goals and what we imagine achieving, not wanting, not feeling necessity, but instead feeling as if it is happening in the present moment as we inhale through the nose. Hold the breath. Imagine this image with more detail expanding as you exhale through the nose. And as you breathe normally, take this moment to allow yourself to feel the accomplishment of your hard work and your efforts, whether it's on yourself for self-improvement and healing, whether it is with your job, whether it's writing something, whether it's with your family. Whatever the effort you've been putting in to use as steps to get to this end goal, I want you to recognize those things and say, in this moment, this is a good accomplishment. I want you to really feel accomplished, because we don't often give ourselves this opportunity. We are often thinking about the past, and that past gives us a sense of urgency, which also leads us to thinking about the future, which also gives us this sense of urgency. And by simply inhaling through the nose, as we do that now, and add the thought in the mind as we're exhaling, I'm breathing out. And now you're thinking, I'm breathing in, and you inhale. And you think, I'm breathing out as you exhale. We start to give the mind this rhythm and this job to do, so it's no longer going to preoccupy itself with the past, which then leads to the future. The new path we have is the straight and narrow path. It is the present moment. It is the mercurial energy. Mercury shows us the path. And we enter that when we take the inhale, as we do now through the nose. Hold the breath. Hold that breath. Taking a sip. There you go. Really expand those lungs, and now exhale out the nose. Let that air cascade out. Really, really empty those lungs. Let it all out, and then breathe normally. And now I'm going to give you the opportunity to think anything you want. How many times do we give ourselves permission to think on our own without interference? Take this time. I'll give you some moments of silence to simply think on your own accord. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be with intentions. Just go wherever you want to be, as wacky as it may be. It's your time. Take a moment now. And the simple reminder, if thoughts come into the mind when you're trying to concentrate and you're wondering whether or not you're doing this right, you are. We cannot prevent the invasion or trespassing of thoughts from entering the mind. And as they do, along with feelings, identify them. Say, oh, that's a thought that wasn't invited by me, or that just kind of jumped into my mind. That's a thought. Or perhaps you have an itch on your face, or you feel uncomfortable. You need to adjust your butt in your chair. That's a feeling. Great, we've identified them, and now we're going back to monitoring our breathing, thinking in our minds, I'm breathing in, and you're thinking as you exhale, I'm breathing out. And it's that simple. And now that we have focused ourselves in the present moment, we don't have to feel any guilt about the past. We can focus now on what we imagine bringing into our lives, and we're going to make this reality by imagining in front of us, directly in front of us, the sun beaming light directly into our heart center. And we're absorbing it, taking it all in as if it's the most brilliant piece of jewelry that exists in the universe, and it has landed in your heart center and you are caring for it. Now, I want you to imagine that idea of what you wish to bring into your life while we have this incredible power within us, charged and ready to use for materialization. Remember the lens of love. This is your time to send a message to the universe. Keep it sacred to yourself. Do not share it with anyone else, for it needs to reach its destination without interference. Remember, the moment that you share it, someone, no matter what their intentions are, will assume they know what that means to you without asking. And they will assume to know what that end result will be without asking you what you are intending for it to be. And that's because we are fallible. It's not to love those aspects, simply to recognize they exist and to go on thinking about these goals in the mind and not share them. Because it's more important to achieve them, and as they are achieved, those who truly love you will recognize those things as achievements, and you will be celebrating in the same way with them as you recognize theirs. The path is one that can be listened to once it's accomplished, but while it's going on, it is not to be shared, for it shall distort the image of your achievement, your goal, and you don't want that. As you inhale through the nose, you're thinking, I'm breathing in. And now we're going to think I'm breathing out as we breathe out. Takes us right back to that present moment, so we can offer the universe the lens of love. Now imagine this heart center light. I want you to imagine it being the color pink and expanding in this color outside your body, outside your neighborhood, covering all the area, reaching all of your family members, reaching the people you love, reaching everywhere you can imagine, going beyond the planet, going beyond the solar system, going through the universe, showering the universe with the color pink, this healing color. And now imagine letting it go. As the light fades, so does that within your heart, and you're letting it go. The message has been transmitted and is complete. And that is the end of this meditation. Have a wonderful rest. Have a great day tomorrow. A beautiful jump start on Wednesday with that Mercury energy. And we work with the Neptune energy on the 25th, and there's a lot of profundity available to you, make use of it. Look at something beautiful before you go to sleep, or someone that you love. Tell them they're beautiful. Tell them you appreciate who they are. Really. And then in the morning, do the same thing. And don't forget to receive, for it's been out of balance for a while. I know. It's your time. Time to receive. Make sure you do. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the stream. And before you go, if you enjoyed what you saw tonight, please do consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And I thank you so much for being a part of this night. It's been great fun going through I Am That I Am with you. Meditation for the digital age. Simple, effective, the polymath way. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful evening.